Good morning, Alan. Hello, everyone else. Welcome to TARDIS Spider. Today, finding McCoy. The people, places, and events that took us from Colin Baker till Sylvester McCoy. Doctor, are you sure you're well? Of course. I'm as fit as a trombone. While Colin Baker was being forced off the show, JNT resented being forced to stay. First, BBC executives told him that he could produce another program, but they couldn't find another person to take the reins, so he had to remain. JNT had to make up for lost time since he hadn't put any effort into commissioning stories or finding a new script editor, or thinking that he was leaving. Pip and Jane Baker came back to pen the opening story, featuring the Ronnie, since actor Kate O'Mara had recently returned to England after appearing as a regular in the television series Dynasty. They wrote the adventure, originally called Strange Matter, to serve as Colin Baker's finale, since JNT had told him that the actor had changed his mind and returned to give the Doctor his send off. The script ends with the Sixth Doctor destroying the Ronnie's lair, only to be caught in the explosion. Mel then finds the newly regenerated Seventh Doctor lying in the rubble. JNT then brought in new script Andrew Cartnell, who wanted a very different Doctor Who. Influenced by critically acclaimed writer Alan Moore's recent work on comics such as Swamp Thing, Watchmen, and V for Vendetta, Cartnell wanted to deconstruct the Doctor's nature and adventures. He requested changes to the story Strange Matter, which was retitled Time and the Ronnie. And of course, with Colin Baker refusing to return, this meant they needed a story to be rewritten for a doctor who had not yet been cast. Sylvester McCoy was born Percy Kent Smith in Dunoon, Scotland, to an Irish mother. His father, an Englishman, had died during World War II before his birth. Kent Smith initially studied to become a priest, but then worked in the insurance industry before taking a job at the box office of the Round in Chalk Farm, North London. He performed comedy on stage there, his most popular act being the portrayal of a stuntman named Sylvester McCoy. A reviewer didn't realize it was a scripted comedy and referred to Kent Smith as if he were the character. Thus, it became his stage name, eventually evolving into Sylvester McCoy. When Colin Baker left, Sylvester McCoy was playing the Pied Piper at the National Theatre. After years of comedy, portraying a dangerous hero appealed to him. He also liked the prospect of having Bonnie Langford as his companion, having worked with her a few years earlier in The Pirates of Penzance at the Theatre Royal, Drury Lane. Seeing McCoy's performance as the Pied Piper, JNT believed him the right man for the job and informed his superiors. But after 2 years of low ratings, his casting was questioned. For the first time, Jonathan Powell suggested that he formally audition other potentials just to be sure. Sylvester McCoy did screen test for the role, along with Irish actor Demont Crowley and the mustachioed David Fielder. JNT engineered the auditions deliberately for these two other actors because while he regarded them as good, he didn't think either of them was right for the role. This way, he could show Powell that videotape proved McCoy was the strongest choice. For the test, Janet Fielding read opposite the three men. JNT told McCoy he wanted to return to a Troughton style doctor. Despite initially wanting to go darker, the actor conceded and took inspiration from Charlie Chaplin. Since the Sixth Doctor had often quoted philosophers and writers, Nathan Turner decided that the Seventh would mix up his cliches. A poor workman blames his fools, and time and tide melts the snowman. Pip and Jane Baker disliked this wackiness, saying it was forced. That JNT insisted on including a bit in which the Seventh Doctor played the spoons took them aback even further. As McCoy tells it, we were out to dinner and I was playing the spoons as a gag. John says, "That's great. We need to include that in Doctor Who." I thought he was joking. He later agreed that the campy comedy went too far in his debut story. I can see that stuff as a mistake. Even though we were having fun on the set, people wanted to know what the new Doctor was like, and they wanted to see him fight evil. Originally, the Bakers wrote the Seventh Doctor as existing already, but Nathan Turner thought this to be a mistake, leading to a hastily added regeneration scene. In later interviews, Andrew Cartnell admitted that he shouldn't have interfered with the story and he should have seen it as a learning experience before delving into his job. Time and the Rani aired in September 1987, 9 months after Colin Baker's final adventure. It wasn't received well. There are three other stories in Sylvester McCoy's first season: Paradise Towers, Delta and the Bannerman, and Dragonfire. Each of these stories, in my opinion, is superior to Time and the Rani. Starting with Paradise Towers, we will start seeing a darker Doctor, the Doctor that Sylvester McCoy will become during the majority of his time in Doctor Who. And to me, Doctor Who's Seventh Doctor is a highlight of the decade of the 1980s. So enjoy your journey through time and space, and good night.